Only 2,500 players have cleared hard mode workshop or brilliant light. So here's a guide. What's good YouTube, Nugget Man here, come with you today with the hard mode workshop or brilliant light guide. So guys, only 2,500 players have cleared it so far. So I went ahead and brought ourselves one of the first people that cleared it hard mode workshop, Saurav, aka Fang. Fang, how you doing today, my guy?
Doing good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, brother. So, yes, sir, we collabed and we're gonna bring you guys the know-how on how to clear each and every floor, the best setups you need from each and every floor, whether it's blessings, artifacts, various teams. So before we get into any of that, make sure you guys leave a like on the video, subscribe, turn on post notices, all that other good stuff so you don't miss a live or an upload. But let's get started. Fang, Saurav, whichever one you want me to call you, but what's your initial thoughts from being one of the first 1,000 to clear hard mode workshop of brilliant light?
Initial thoughts, I was nervous at first because I thought there'd be more people that clear it. Yeah. But the moment the update dropped, I just logged in and the first thing I did was just rush into the hard mode workshop of brilliant light. Yeah. And I just took the same setup I normally do for the normal mode. And it was close, but we managed to pull it off.
Nice. And then what about the team you ran? Like, how did you change anything up for your first run? Did you run any wind supports, any wind weapons, things like that?
For the very first run, I just went exactly with what I do normal mode with. So it was like full water team. For my weapons on Sung Jinbu, I was using the Grimoire and the Plum Sword. Just the tried and tested stuff. I really didn't take anything different because I didn't want there to be any RNG in the run, just to give myself the best chance of being one of those first 1,000 people to be able to clear.
Yes, sir. And you guys can watch Saurav's run on his channel. Link will be in the description. He does hard mode workshop. He does SR only normal workshop. He does all the types of workshops of various different theories. So make sure you guys check out his channel. But Saurav, best advice you can give to players trying to clear hard mode for the first time. What do you got for them?
And the best advice thus far, I've had a lot of people come to me for this. They keep asking me if they can clear it in the red or if they need to be in the white or the blue when it comes to the power level. Yeah. What I just end up telling them is more than your power level, what depends on a successful run is where you've put your advancements. So if you've got advancements in the right places, like the right weapons and the right hunters, then you'll have a much easier time clearing these high tier stages.
1,000%. Couldn't agree more. But without further ado, let's get straight into this. Starting off with the entrance floor, what do you recommend setups for the Gatekeeper Abyss Cerberus?
And so for Cerberus, my personal recommendations are for weapons. The secondary weapon will definitely have to be Plum Sword, so you can get as much damage output you can from your primary. And my personal favorite primary to run for this is now the West Wind. As we all know that with the recent update, now Cerberus is weak to both wind and water. And there's just no way you're not running the West Wind here. Nice. But if you don't have the West Wind, then the Thetis' Grimoire is a very good second choice.
Couldn't agree more. I personally still like the Grimoire here, but the West Wind is definitely a great one to run for the boy Cerberus. How about supports that you might run?
For supports, you just want to maximize your damage output. So personally, I just run 2 support units, being Maylene and Min, just to maximize that damage output a bit more. And then you want to maybe run some sort of debuff cleanse so that you get rid of those fire stacks. So I personally run Alicia just so my power is in the white. But if you're comfortable, then you can also run something like Parkesian.
Got you. And then, of course, this might be out of the player's hands, but what are some of the best blessing stones that people could be running here?
For blessing stones, definitely weakness detection is a no-brainer here. Yeah. Because you like I keep saying, you know, these hard mode bosses, they've got a lot of HP, they've got a lot of defense. So we just want to get as much damage from Sun Jinbu as we can. So we want to run weakness detection. That's a no-brainer. And if you're running the West Wind, my personal favorite is Reawakening. I mean, if you've got A5, you just reduce that cooldown and you can just chain 2 shots together. It's just brilliant overall. And then for the remaining 2, I like to run Pulverize. And for the fourth and final spot, I'd leave it open to the viewers. They can choose to run any sort of damage blessing stone. They can run advanced dagger technique, they can run bloodlust, or they can run a double-edged sword. The list just goes on. Any damage blessing really.
I see. Can't complain. Those are some great recommendations. And then I think personally we would both agree for the Shadow Army, we'd probably want Egress first, and then definitely the boy Serby. And that third Shadow really can be up to whatever the viewers decide, right?
Yeah, pretty much. That's a solid list there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for that. So that is the Demon's Castle entrance. And then how about skills people should be using for Sun Jinwoo? I know we didn't talk about this, but I think for the Demon's Castle entrance and 50th floor, you could run pretty much the same things. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do agree actually. And with the weakness changing to wind now, I've changed from iceberg to vacuum wave for the first skill. We want double break, so we break as fast as we can so we can maximize our damage output as usual. And for the second skill, I'm running multi-strike rush. So just going for those weakness points and making sure that we break down that gauge as fast as we can.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Those two skills make a quite deadly combo. You should be able to break relatively within those first 50 seconds if you're using your break skills properly.
Yeah, that's right. So if you're missing any of those break skills we just talked about, you can run Earth Shock in place of that, or any other weakness inducing skill there. So just your aim should be to break in the first minute and maximize your damage, like Iman said.
As a lot of players are having troubles with floor 25, we're definitely going to have to swing on to burning Overpass, which is the first stage you get your blessings. Now, what is the best blessings you can recommend a player to be grinding for?
The best blessings personally for me, from what I've tested and what I've seen, these bosses, like I said, they're very tanky. So I personally prefer having increased damage taken blessings and reduced defense blessings.
Right.
But if you feel like your Alicia or whoever you're using is lacking damage, you could always stack up more crit hit damage, more ultimate damage, or more core attack damage. Those are all really great choices. It'll come down to your individual builds. If you're built for very high crit damage, you might be able to skip over that. But in general, ultimate and core attack damages are really good to go with.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then for Floor Castle 25, you already mentioned her, Alicia Blanc. I think the best personal team currently that can be ran is Alicia Blanc, Saw, along with Maylene for the buffs, and then of course Saw for the breaker / DPS, and then Alicia Blanc as well for the DPS herself. How do you think about that team? Are you running any win teams currently?
That is hands down the best team. There's no comparison, to be honest. I've been doing a lot of runs with the win team recently, and let me tell you, it's challenging. Like it's close every single time. But I've not had that problem with the water team whatsoever. They just run through everything.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And one thing I'd like to mention for maybe people who don't have Alicia at A5 already,
right,
and just to speed up your runs a little bit and make your life a little bit easier, if you're not getting the freeze on the first boss on floor 25, just restart. It's just easier.
1,000%, 1,000%, man. That tornado. If you don't got that A5, I usually like to re-roll on the free to play. And just until that tornado gets that first freeze. Of course, you guys could bring Nam there, use Nam instead of Saw, but hey, Saw is going to give you DPS and break, and I think we personally agree that that's way better than just break.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. Plus, CP is a big thing as well. You don't want to be too far into the red. You don't want to nerf yourself too much. So also helps bring up that CP.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Any other tips for floor 25? I know you talked about that first boss. Anything they should know about the remaining three?
The second one is probably the tankiest of all the bosses, including the final boss.
1,000%.
So you wanna make sure you don't save your ultimates too much. If you've got your ultimate by the second boss, just dump it all there. That's where you're gonna save your time in the entire round, in my opinion.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then to dive down on that a little bit deeper, I think the best practice would be to save your shadows for the second boss along with your ult. Maybe save your shadows and your second boss along with the fourth boss as well. I think that first and third boss, as soon as you break that gauge, you're really in a great spot. The only ult I would recommend for the first and maybe third would be a Saw ult. I don't know how you feel about that one.
I totally agree with that. The soul ult is more like it's good to have damage rather than must have damage.
Yeah.
So yeah, the soul ult for the first and the third boss is actually a good idea.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then once they finally go ahead and beat that Demon's Castle 25th floor, we either got the option to go get some more blessings or go straight for Vulcan on the Sun Jinwoo side. Now, I know you did it, no blessings. So how do you feel? How was your first initial Sun Jinwoo run? Did you beat it on the first try, or did you, take a retry? Did you need 2 takes or something like that?
It was technically the second try because me being me, I just ran into Vulcan and just got one shot and I just died. But yeah, I tried no blessings first because like I said, it was a time crunch, right? You want to be the first 1,000, so you got to save time where you can. So I just ran without blessings and see where it was going to take me. It was close, I'll tell you. Like the Vulcan run with Sung Jinwoo, it came down to the wire. I had like maybe 12 seconds remaining on the run when it was all said and done, and like I said, I was using the Grimoire, so the damage was good, but it wasn't great at the time. So yeah, so once I switched my setup to Westwind, I'm seeing much better times now, and it's been nerfed recently as well, so even better times really.
Nice, nice. And then since you didn't run blessings, I think I can take over here. For blessings for Vulcan, on the Sun Jinwoo side, you definitely want to look at something like ultimate damage. I recommend ultimate damage 1000% because that ult is going to be one of the key things that gets that gauge down. Along with that, you can run defense decrease and attack increase. And then if that's not enough, you might want to go back to burning overpass, re-roll those blessings if you have maybe core attacks from Alicia's floor 25 run. You might want to re-roll that, go for straight ults, go for straight attacks. You just want to buff your Sun Jinwoo as much as possible. And then finally, last but not least, we got the Hunter side of Vulcan. Now, what can you say here on the Hunter side of things?
The Hunter side was pretty straightforward. I'm not gonna lie. It was just like the normal run.
Yeah.
It just took longer because he's tankier, he's got more HP bars.
Yeah.
So it just took me longer. Again, just like Sung Jinwoo, I had maybe like 30 seconds left on my first try. It was the nerves as well. I was a little bit nervous, so wanting to be the first 1,000.
Yes,
so yeah, but it was first try. I got it first try, and it was a similar setup to the normal Vulcan. We went with Seo, Maylene, and Alicia, and we just crushed it.
Yes, sir. Speaking on teams, I don't think we talked about weapons for Sun Jinwoo on Vulcan. Are you still running the Plum and Westwinds?
Definitely. That's the go-to combo for Vulcan, in my opinion. Just making sure that those Westwind stacks stay at max for the duration of the run. It takes a little bit of timing, but if you can time your Westwind shots properly, you can make sure that you have 5 stacks at all times, and you'll just see that the HP bars are just melting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then for the Hunter side of Vulcan, last but not least, last thing I swear, are you running any win teams? Have you tried out a win team? What is that looking like?
Actually did try the win team against Vulcan. Unfortunately, I'm not strong enough, but I did not try it with blessings, mind you. I did try it with no blessings, and I always had Vulcan with, say, maybe 5% left at the end when the timer ran out. So I'm thinking if I did go back and did it with some blessings, I'd definitely make the win team work. And for the win team, we're running the GOAT, the Woo Jin Chul, with Wang Dong Su and Amamiya Mireille.
Interesting. Getting that 30% buff from that Mireille A4 can be very, very lovely.
Lovely, like you said.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, there you guys have it. That is Workshop or Brilliant Light hard mode covered on each and every floor. We got the entrance, we got the 25th floor, the 50th floor, and blessings you need for each and every one. So with that in mind, what do you guys think? What do you think of this collab with the boy Sarab? Make sure you guys show some love to him in the comments below. Go subscribe to his channel. He has insane runs that you guys do not want to miss. Sar, appreciate you coming on through for the Mafia. Do you have anything to say before we leave off?
Hey man, thanks for having me here. It's always lovely to do a collab, and I've followed you since you're at maybe 1K subs, and we've stuck with the Mafia. Yes, we've joined the guild. We're doing everything together, and it's just a great feeling to be here, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you all the same, brother. That is all for today, y'all. Y'all take care. Leave your thoughts, theories, comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.